I'm glad you all survived the terrible, horrible, worst day of the year, Black Friday. I can't stand Black Friday. Honestly, I stopped. That's when I stopped using Facebook because every year on Black Friday there'd be nothing but Hunger Games level like just brutality for people fighting over literally like every time I would see it on the news or on Facebook, they'd be like they put out the printers and the people went wild, like the people were biting each other. Like it's not even the TVs are right there. It's like the worst shit up front and people are trampling over everyone. I can't stand it. So I'm glad you survived. And who knows, maybe that was probably the best thing about the pandemic is if you went into the store, you might have been the only one there because you can buy stuff online. The sales are all week long. I bought basically everything, which by the way, does anyone else feel my pain? I don't. My mom gets so mad at me. Like she has a rule that is just for her. It's not a rule that anyone else is like following, but anyone that she loves or like is going to buy stuff for, and I feel like this is a first world problem complaint. I'm like, my mom loves me and wants to buy me gifts. I get it, but from the time like literally September through Christmas, or I guess Hanukkah for me, which by the way, happy Hanukkah to all my. This is why I want to talk about it because I'm in trouble. From September through Hanukkah, I'm not allowed to buy myself a stick of gum. I get in trouble if I buy anything, and here's the problem: I feel like I've reached an age not where I don't appreciate presents. I appreciate a lot of gifts. I love a gift. My only problem is I don't know what to tell you that I want. I have no idea. I don't know what I want because I don't frankly need much. I'm not going to ask for like, oh yeah, could I get a new TV? No, I'm not going to ask like what I used to love putting DVDs and Blu-rays on there. I have thousands of them. They're sitting in a box in my mom's basement. They're probably never to be seen again. I don't need anything. I bought a jacket because this, my girlfriend and her kids call this my poop jacket because, let me show you. Fuck it. You know what? I've never done this on video. Give me 2 seconds. God damn it. That's embarrassing. You see the headphone thing get stuck in the goddamn chair. What is happening? There we go. I'm going to have to keep that in because that's hysterical. I don't think, frankly, I think I'm being a little bit of attacked here. I do. It is a little bit big. And it's an XL, which is weird. Because I used to be a 2. And when I got home this time last winter, this didn't fit. And it kind of does look a little bit like poop. And I have to take it off. By the way, I know this shirt's the 2 red shirt. But I've been getting yelled at. I get yelled at a lot. Do you see a pattern? I've been getting yelled at by everyone. Literally homeless people. Like, your jacket sucks. Now, from my mom and my girlfriend, like, listen, you need a new jacket. First of all, I don't feel like I'm cheap. I am kind of. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm not cheap, but I'm losing weight, and I still have about 50 pounds I want to lose. So I didn't want to buy a new jacket until that point because I'm going to use it for 1 year, and I've been told that I'm a grouchy old man who needs to spend $50. I think I bought like a $70 jacket on Black Friday. But that's besides the point. I don't think that's a poop jacket, but I bought a new jacket on Black Friday, and I told my mom, and she treated it like I told her that I was never going to give her grandkids. And not only was I not going to give her grandkids, but I was happy about it. Like, I was doing it to spite her. And she wasn't too mad, but you could, you know your mom. She either already bought me a jacket, which I don't like, and B just knew that I knew I wasn't supposed to do it, so now I'm supposed to feel bad. And by the way, this is what my brain is like all the time. She also could have not been mad at all. That's also a possibility. But just by her tones and her energy, that is how I'm feeling, and I feel like I'm in trouble. So I'm going to be living in this office now. But no, that I bought some stuff. I'm trying to, upgrade. I did an Old Navy order. Oh shit. Don't tell my mom. I didn't tell her about the Old Navy. I would be in so much trouble. I don't want to buy why would I buy clothes 6 months before I'm like going to be at a good weight? And I know treat yourself now, but I'm just going to have to donate them and throw them away. What do you do with old? It seems like a waste. I'm not a hoarder, but I'm not a hoarder. Is that? I like to hoard my money. Like Joey used to have a joke, that I love, and he goes like, "You have short pockets, but long. No, you have long arms and short pockets." That used to kill me because it's true, and I just don't like spending money. I'll spend money on other shit. I literally just bought a new phone because I got suckered into the deals that they have. And I've been with T-Mobile for a few years, and they're okay. Their customer service is not great. And so I switched back to Verizon. I'm feeling a little bit better than everyone now. I feel like Verizon, for whatever reason, is like that. Whenever I told people I had T-Mobile, like they go, ew. Like, ooh, gross. It's literally the same thing, but now that I have Verizon, I'm going to look down on everyone else and start eating caviar. I don't know what you do with Verizon, but I wanted to come on and just tell you guys what's going on in my life. Like I said, I did buy a whole bunch of stuff on Black Friday. I bought it online though, and I need to tell you where you need to go online. Because this episode is brought to you by Freeze Pipe. It's 2021, and if you're still coughing while getting high, you're living in the past. Forget about it because you have Freeze Pipe. I actually have the Freeze Pipe bubbler, and I have the bong, and it changed. So I was going to have to. I just retired from stand up. I'm going to have to retire from smoking before Freeze Pipe because you would cough. I would cough. My lung would pop out, and it was terrible. Freeze Pipe, you get an ice cold hit every time. It's smooth. You don't even know that you're smoking. It's amazing. It comes with a detachable chamber that you freeze beforehand, and the smoke cools down the bong. The bong or the bubbler cools down the smoke by hundreds of degrees. It's fantastic, and your throat will thank you. It's like inhaling clouds. It's amazing. I love Freeze Pipe, and I can't recommend it enough. They've been a great company to me. And just do me a favor. Go to thefreezepipe.com. That's where they get you. It's thefreezepipe.com and press in code Lee to save 10% off your first order. And they don't just have bongs, guys. They have bongs. They have bubblers. They have dams. They have pipes. Anything that you can smoke from, Freeze Pipe makes it. All right, go to thefreezepipe.com and press in code Lee to save 10% off of your first order. Okay, so now that we've done thefreezepipe.com, I wanted to tell you just what's going on. So I'm in AA. I know it's not the one I'm not supposed to tell you about. I'm in the Always Anxious Club. So like I literally went through it with the fight, or really non-fight I had with my mom, because I'm feeling guilty about buying a jacket. Because I want to know what I'm buying. I don't want to do the research and then like find it and like send you a link. And by the way, my mom doesn't like Amazon, so it's going to be going to a store, and I got to buy my phone, my new jacket on my phone in my underwear. I'm sorry. It's neither here nor there. But what I'm nervous about or anxious about now is my new job that I start. Actually, when you are hearing this, either today or in the past. This is my first. I talked about it on the last episode. This is like my first adult job that I get like benefits, and they are a real company, and I'm excited, but there's always something to be nervous about with me. Even when I got the job, I said to myself, "Oh, good, I have like 3 hours of happiness," because as soon as I get it, there's no moment of like relaxing and everything's going to be okay. Now what I get to be worried about is getting fired, and that'll be fun forever. I wish it wasn't like that. I get nervous about I'm gonna double overthink. That's why I like talking on the phone. There's a lot of people my age or around my age who will never call someone. I get it, but I like calling because I can hear their inflection and get answers right away. I hate waiting for text backs or emails and then wondering why they didn't use exclamation points. I use exclamation points when I say dear. I'll be like, "Dear John!" exclamation point. Just to let everyone know that I'm happy and that I'm not mad. Are they worried? Probably not. It must be nice. How does it feel to have a non-broken brain? It must feel great. Let's take a sip of water. I really don't think my jacket looks like poop. Her kids call it my poop coat, and now I can't not hear it. But I wasn't angry. I actually, a little bit. This was a interesting Thanksgiving because my mom went to visit my brother, and I took my girlfriend to my aunt and uncle's house, and they are essentially my grandparents. My grandparents passed away when I was really young, and so my aunt and uncle I'm very close to them, and I get it from my girlfriend's point of view. It's very nerve-wracking to like spend time with someone else's family, but then it's nerve-wracking a little bit on my side too. You want her to have a good time, you want everyone to get along, and something that I've been thinking about for a minute is like, when you realize things are like working out and going well, and B, you realize how stupid you were or I was in previous relationships to like deal with certain things. The person that I'm dating, not to gender anyone, you don't know. They, not she, they, helped out in the kitchen. Like I would never have asked anyways, but them just got up and started helping my aunt, also them, and it was just nice. I don't know how else to put it. I feel like a lot of times in the past with dating, I still, in every relationship I have, I try to make everyone happy, and I always worry about if I'm asking too much or whatever. And for them, how would I do that? Yeah, I guess how for them to do that. I don't know if I said that wrong. I'm sorry. It was just nice, and it was just because I don't think I've ever had a girlfriend do that, and I know there's probably a lot of guys out there, or even women out there, or thems, who are like, that's a normal thing to do, and that's my girlfriend and I actually talked about it. Oh, God damn, I gendered her. Cut that out. We talked about it, and she laughed too. God, I did it again. And it's just funny when you get out of or get into a good relationship to see like the little things that you're like, oh, was I like stupid before? Was I really wrong? And like just stupid things that show you that it's going well. Like I was thinking about because she has 2 little kids, and I was thinking about like, I'm running into situations now with that I've just never really dealt with before. Like not knowing how to like I haven't had to discipline our kids yet. That's not really. I try to be like the fun uncle, and which I'll probably not. I won't get in trouble for it, but it is causing issues because like she will try to discipline her kids or tell them not to do something, and then I will try to make them laugh, and it's probably not a smart idea, but it's fun for now, because they like me, they like her too actually, but like I learned that I don't have to negotiate with 3-year-olds, which is fun because like the 6-year-old has liked me from the beginning, and the 3-year-old liked me but was hard team mom. Like go team mom, like you're cool and all, but no thank you. And like whenever we're getting out of the car, she'll say, "Oh, I want mommy to help me get out of my seat," or "I want mommy to do this." And then today and yesterday, I was able to like help her get a drink, and I was like, "Oh, she likes me." And then we had like literally I think a 20-minute argument because today later on she wanted her mom to get her a drink, and her mom was doing something and said, "Why don't you let Lee get it?" And it turned into like a 30-minute argument about, "I don't want Lee to get it. I want you to get it." And I was trying to like reason with her like she was an adult, and it turns out that kids are the most consistent and persistent people in the world, because it doesn't matter what like logic or right is. In her mind, she's right, and she wore us down. She wore us down over I think like half an hour. It was, and this is a funny one. Her kids, they were having sandwiches for lunch 2 times, and I'm trying to give fatherly advice, and I have to get back to that one, and I will. So there's the advice that I wanted to give earlier was like, how would I explain like who to look for when you're dating, and I'll get to that one, but this one's just, it's silly. They were having sandwiches and they were taking chips and putting them in the bread from like the top. They were just sticking it in like it was a flag into the bread, and I just said, "You know what? Why don't you take the top bread off, put chips down, put other bread on top, and then it'll be a lot easier and you'll get a lot more crunch." Because I don't know if you know this, but I invented putting chips and French fries into sandwiches, and I don't care what anyone says because I invented it. No one did it before me, and I just couldn't get it through to either of them that would make their lives and their sandwiches better, sort of like freeze pipe. And it was just funny because my girlfriend has had kids for a while, and she's like, "Oh, you've never dealt with this before. Like you don't know that you're not going to change their mind on a lot of things like that, and you also don't have to, like you're in charge," which is weird. Like you can, if they're doing something wrong, you could tell them to like stop doing it, and they actually have to listen to you. And I didn't. I thought that like they call me Little Bum Bum. That's the name. Because since I've met them, I've lost some weight, and so I think their mom said it one day, and now I don't think they say Lee almost ever. It's Little Bum Bum, and it's gonna be my new rap name, and it's just I'm much better at being the fun. Let's make funny faces and make you laugh. I'm not sure how I'm gonna yell at. How do you yell at a cute 3-year-old? That one's gonna be tough for me. I've wanted to. Sometimes they'll do stuff that'll be like, "Oh, I'm getting like I should yell." Like I want to yell, but then they do something that's cute, and it's gonna be a problem for me. I'm gonna need someone else to discipline my kids. That would be helpful. But I was thinking about what advice I would give to any kid, I guess, or like to myself being younger about dating and who to date, because I think a lot of times, like when I was young, you'd go after either someone you thought was like just hot, or you'd put up with stuff because sex was good or whatever. And I think what I've And again, I'm 4 months into a relationship. This will be real fun if she breaks up with me in like 2 weeks. But she's not going to. What I think is different in this relationship is, I think like the amount that you laugh, and not high, because high laughter is good and it still counts, but high laughter is the PED. Like there's an asterisk next to that laugh, because if you don't laugh with someone when you're high, then you should break up immediately. If you just sit there high all night and you're just kind of like still kind of serious, that's a red flag. But laughing sober and like just doing small stuff is what I would look for. And I guess I also, now that I'm thinking about it, probably can't tell, I don't know, how old do kids when they start dating? Like when they're normal? 13, 14? I probably shouldn't tell them that they should laugh high. Just laugh. That'll be, see, I'm working it through with you. Thank you. But it's been fun to spend time with our kids, which is new. When I was younger, I would have never thought about dating anyone who had kids. It's a lot of responsibility. It just is. And I'm, so far, like I said, it's been 4 months. I'm actually really enjoying it, and it's fun because I feel like kids, they're like dogs. Like we were watching The Grinch, and because I put up my first Christmas tree. Don't tell my mom. That would be not good. But my hands didn't burn. They tingled a little bit when I touched the ornaments, but not much. But we were watching The Grinch, and I had really never seen it before, Jewish, and not allowed. And I knew that the Grinch was a good person because he had a dog, or they had a dog. I don't know. Is the Grinch a man? And I feel like kids, for the most part, are similar to dogs in that way. Like they will let you know if you're bad. If like a kid like really hates you, and maybe one kid, you'd be like, oh, well, that kid is an asshole. Who knows? But if like multiples of kids hate you, you probably have like some unresolved anger or like just like a bummer to be around. And to be around like kids, it's just it's fun. Like they just have fun. They're doing laps at 6 a.m. of just running and laughing for no reason. I haven't had that much fun probably since I was 6. I feel like around that time is when the anxiety kicks in and homework, and anytime before like 7 or 8 is just your whole life is fun, and it's like fun to like be around that again. But it's just been pretty cool, and I wanted to I'm gonna do a very quick note from our sponsor, and then a couple other things that I wanted to tell you about. And our other sponsor for this episode is the wonderful Manscaped. Brace yourself. Winter is coming, and it is. It's been snowing here 2 days already. I hate it, and it's cold, and it stinks. But what the writers of Games of Thrones didn't want to tell you is that Bran was actually in a wheelchair because he didn't trim his balls with a Manscaped razor. He didn't do it. They thought he pushed him out a window. No, it was because he didn't have Manscaped. The poor guy thought it was okay to trim his balls with a traditional razor. Just gotta tell you, Manscaped, I feel like Bran might have been a child when he fell out of the window. So, we'll keep going with this, but that's a little, just letting you know. Manscaped is the ultimate gift, and they're here to change the men's grooming game, and you can get 20% off plus free shipping if you use code Syatt at manscaped.com. That's SYATT at manscaped.com. It's time to get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season, and I'm talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 4.0. Comes with everything you want. The Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, boxers, a travel kit, and liquid formulations. Go to manscaped.com. Do me a favor, and when you're there, you get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Syatt, SYATT, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com using code Syatt. It's time to join the Manscaped movement. These products are no joke. Oh, not no joke, snow joke. Thank you to Manscaped. Perfect. This has been quite an episode. You've learned a lot about me. I have a poop jacket. My shirt is too red. I am nervous all of the time. What you may have also noticed, if you're watching, which you should be, is that my beard looks fantastic. And it got me thinking. I was talking earlier about my cheapness, and I think that relates perfectly to beard trimming, because I have tried to trim a beard for the last probably decade, and I've succeeded 3 to 4 times. Like actually been semi happy with the results, and turns out that for $5 plus tip, I tipped her 5 on a 5. Very exciting. Just throwing that new job money around. That letting like a professional actually do something is something that I've struggled with, and it makes everything better to a point. I'm not telling you to go out there and hire a I don't know whatever. I you know what I'm trying to say. I literally went nowhere with that analogy, and I'm gonna keep it in because that's what I do. But just paying that $5 to have, because I've had to start over on beards like 4 to 5 times a year. It'll just, if you ever see me on here with no beard, it's because I decided to be cheap and try to trim my own beard, and I messed it up. I cut a divot into it. I went too far down on one side. I didn't go far enough. I shaved half my mustache off. What half? Who knows? But just letting professionals, it's worth it to spend money occasionally. And this is a stupid one, but just to show you the level of cheapness that I in the past have been, is I used to drink a lot. I still drink a good amount, but not as much, of diet soda. And I would go and price per ounce, not just a can or for the box. I would, because sometimes they'll have deals like 2 for $17 and 3 for $11. And that one's easy to figure out, but sometimes it won't be easy to figure out. And I would price either Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi to the ounce, which one was cheaper, and I'd buy the cheaper one. And I still don't really care, but I like Coke products better. Diet Coke, Coke Zero, they're better. It wasn't worth the dollar. Literally, sometimes it'd be like less than $1 that I would save by going with one brand over the other, even if it was $3. Isn't your happiness worth $3? Like that level of cheap that I was, and still am kind of in my soul, but I'm trying to expand, is not good. And I feel like I'm trying to attract more, and I'm just going to be not as I feel like maybe that is where my anxiety comes from. Like that's the level of overthinking that I have, is which ounce of soda is going to be 44 cents cheaper. Because I would do it all the time. I would do it just constantly. And I'm hoping my life will be better. And that's really it, guys. I had a really good Thanksgiving. I am excited about this new job. I'm still very nervous. But I know a lot of you guys are going through either quitting your job and working for yourself, or maybe you are just still applying to jobs. And I want to just give you a shout out, because it's a very stressful thing to go through. And I know a lot of people are going through it right now. And that's one thing actually that I also wanted to quickly touch on is, of course, as soon as I accepted this job, I got another job interview, and I went on one interview, but I feel like I've even had episodes about this where I used to be very fixated on money, and I still am to a degree, but this job that I interviewed for as well would probably be a little bit more money, I would imagine. But I don't really believe in what the job is. It exists. It's not like a ghost. We're like, I don't believe in it. It's just what I'm trying in the past, or even to be honest, if I didn't have this other job, I might have just been like, I need a job, let's take it. But the fact that I have this job that I'm starting today, I was able to think about it, and what I came to terms with is the little bit of extra money, even if it was, I think it would have been around $1,000 a month more, maybe even a little bit more. And as I'm saying that, I'm like, I can use that. But the reason why I'm going to take myself out of the running for that job is I feel like my reputation, and you're like, Lee, you've been high online. What reputation do you have? Not much. But my reputation and my relationships with my friends are worth more than that. And hopefully, by making this decision, which wasn't fully money based, had more to do with how I feel about this new company and the type of position it is, that I feel like I'm just happy that I was able to make that decision, where it's not just me chasing money like a whore, and actually trying to put myself in situations where I'm going to be happy. And I think I did that. So no matter where you are even if you are at a job, I've made mistakes leaving. One of my worst mistakes that I made was leaving America's Funniest Home Videos. I left it in the wrong way. And there used to be a board for Emerson students where you could post new jobs, and I chased the money a little bit, even though it was almost no money. And I posted on that board without telling my boss, who had been amazing to me, and I didn't think about it. I didn't think about letting them know. I'm getting way too deep into it. I let my immediate boss know. I didn't just disappear. But the head of the company did a lot for me and went to the same school I did. So he hugged me when I graduated, because I was already working for him. And I didn't deal with him that much, and I just made him. I should have reached out to his assistant and let him know. And he never said anything. He saw it on the board and wished me well. He was always very kind to me, but I've always felt bad about, not only because that next job ended up sucking. It was the worst. But I need to do a better job because when you're applying for jobs, or when I am, you get so much, it's not even rejection, it's just being ignored, that when you make it through and you finally get offered that job, it's sort of like how they tell you to have fun with yourself before. I'm talking about ball shavers. Who cares if I say the word masturbate? When they tell you to masturbate before you go on a date, so you make a clear-headed decision. Sometimes I feel like getting a job offer is sort of the same thing. Is that there's that money that's like, oh shit, I'm going to have sex with that money. Not sex with it, but not sex with it. I'm going to have that money, and then you just jump into it. And if I had a cooler head and wasn't so overly excited, I feel like I would have handled that transition in a better way. So if you're in the job hunting process, and trust me, I know how stressful and shitty it can be, try to give yourself a moment and really think if that company or that position is a good, like if you'd be proud to tell people that you're doing it. And again, I got high on the internet for a decade. Maybe don't take my advice. Maybe do the opposite of what I'm saying. But I'm just saying for myself, it feels good to make a decision based on things other than money, or just to tie it all in a bow, not dating someone just for sex or just because you're lonely. I feel like good relationships are, whether they're work, friendship, romantic, anything like that, is worth waiting for the right fit. And that's all I have to say. I love all of you. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Thank you to Manscaped. Don't forget manscaped.com. Use code Syatt, SYATT, to get 20% off plus free shipping. And FreezePipe, go to thefreezepipe.com and press in code LEE, L-E-E, to save 10% off of your first order. Thank you to Manscaped. Thank you to thefreezepipe.com. And thank you to you. I love you, and I'll see you next week on What Was I Thinking. We're in December now. It's in December. If this was in the future, it's now December 2021, and it's too fast. I don't like it. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.